What are you willing to do for love? This story is going to boggle your mind in the depths that one would go for a relationship. Keep in mind that in today's society, there are people who have done a lot of bad things, but it never ceases to amaze me that for some people, it doesn't matter what you did, they're still willing to give you a shot. This story developed out of Alabama in a prison. Apparently, there was a prison guard, corrections officer, who, while working in an Alabama prison, met somebody. Who was this person that she met? Let's find out more about it. Casey White, age 38, an accused murderer. So according to Fox News, Casey White escaped. An Alabama inmate could try suicide by cop as doc shows he wanted to have police kill him. What? Warrant from Casey White's arrest reports says he told woman he wanted to kill her and have police kill him. As the manhunt for escaped Alabama inmate Casey Cole White and fugitive prison guard Vicky White moves into its 11th day, experts are warning about White's possible propensity towards suicide by cop, as past criminal records show he has an alleged history of calling for it. New details are slowly trickling out of the Florence, Alabama escape of accused murderer Casey White, 38, and the high-ranking jail guard who allegedly fled with him, 56-year-old Vicky White.
Bruh.
And no, they are not related. The pair, who are not related, were said to have been in a special relationship. Lauderdale County Sheriff Rick Singleton told Fox News Digital they did not believe Casey White was taking his prescribed medication while on the lam, whatever that means. A warrant for one of Casey White's past arrests describes how he told a woman he wanted to kill her and have the police kill him. The warrant stemmed from his attempted murder and kidnapping case from 2015 in Limestone County, Alabama. This is very strange. According to the 2015 murder, Casey White allegedly broke into his ex-girlfriend's home one night and fired several shots at the woman, but missed her. 4 others, including 2 children, were in the home at the time, the warrant states. He allegedly fatally shot the family's dog. White was arrested after allegedly committing a bevy of other crimes that night. At the time of his arrest, he stated not only that he was trying to kill the woman, but that he wanted to kill her and have the police kill him. Goodness gracious. Does this seem like the type of person that you would want to possibly get into a special relationship with? I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist, I'm not a genius, but I think it's safe to say that the person who is accused of murder is not an ideal candidate to have a relationship with. Maybe that's far-fetched. You guys tell me. Let's continue. So the article here also says he only regretted His only regret was that neither was successful. He stated that if he was released, he would kill the victim. And the manhunt at this point, this was earlier today, May 9th. At this time, law enforcement agents are juggling with their steadfast efforts to find the pair while also ensuring public safety. They asked about existing safety threats. Longtime U.S. Marshal Service Commander Lenny DePaul, who is now retired, also cited his concerns about possible suicide by cop. DePaul states, "That's what I think where law enforcement may be looking at. You know, what's his vision? What's his mindset? And you got to approach that very carefully." DePaul spent decades with the U.S. Marshal Service, where he served commander of the U.S. Marshal Service New York and New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force. He retired in 2013 and is not involved with law enforcement's manhunt for the couple. So this was a developing case at the time, but we have a development, something that just recently broke here within the past hour. But before we get there, let's find out a little bit more about the Jailhouse Romance. You ready for this?
Nope.
All right, we're going to do it anyway. Vicky and Casey had been in the throes of a jailhouse romance when they slipped away from the Lauderdale County Detention Center in Florence, Alabama on April 29th. At the time, Vicky left alone with Casey, telling coworkers she was transporting him for an evaluation at the county courthouse. But lo and behold, there was no evaluation at all. But Casey was not scheduled. Like I said, in the month before the escape, Vicky White allegedly sold her home. She was supposed to retire that day on April 29th, but the paperwork was not ever officially filed with the state.
Denied.
She also purchased an orange-colored 2007 Ford Edge SUV, which investigators tracked down to Bethesda, Tennessee. There's also a developing thing here. There's apparently surveillance footage of Vicky White at an adult store and buying menswear before the pair fled, according to multiple reports and authorities. So this is her at that store. Let's play this. She's walking by a counter of the store, standing there. She's wearing a black hoodie, it looks like, looking over the counter, and then pacing and walking back. She's got blonde hair. There's really not much there. Let's continue. Casey was serving a 75-year sentence for a slew of crimes from 2015, including carjacking, a home invasion, and a police chase. He had been serving his sentence at the William E. Donaldson Correctional Facility in Bessemer, Alabama, but had been transferred to the Lauderdale County Jail while he awaited trial for the 2015 murder of a 58-year-old Connie Ridgway. Rest in peace to them. Casey and Vicky White met in 2020 when Casey was being housed in the Lauderdale Center after confessing to the 2015 slaying, authorities have said. The pair maintain contact and are said to have spoken by phone between 2020 and 2022. So for 2 years, they were speaking by phone. Even when Casey was transported to the Donaldson Center before he's sent back to Lauderdale to await trial, they continued their correspondence. Apparently, the U.S. Marshal Service revealed that they got a tip around 11 p.m. on Thursday about a vehicle matching the description of a 2007 Ford Edge. Thursday would have been May 5th, 2022. With the help of that tip, they were able to track the vehicle to a tow lot in Williamson County, Tennessee, about 2 hours north of where the manhunt first began, the office said. There is a picture of the vehicle. It's a 2007 Ford SUV, and it is a kind of gradient sun-kissed orange color. And this is according to Twitter of the WCSO Franklin, Tennessee Sheriff's Office. They also provided pictures and images of what they would look like together. And here is a picture of Vicky White on the left. And then on the right, that's her in her disguise, which is just a black wig. Bruh. What would make this woman want to throw away her life? She's about to retire for an accused murderer. This always boggles my mind. What is it about people who are violent? What is it about people like that attracts some people? There has to be something mentally tied to a person who would even see that as a viable option, because this phenomenon is not something that's uncommon. I'm not going to say the majority of people are attracted to things like that, but I've found that people who are like serial killers, very violent people who have done heinous things, they're infamous, and they get this visceral and crazy attention from women at times that I can't explain. Marilyn Manson, serial killers, Ted Bundy. The list goes on and on of these deranged killers who have gotten, love letters and affection from women over the years. There has to be something mentally going on that needs to be looked into further, because this isn't the first time or the first story where a corrections officer, a sheriff's officer, somebody that works in the jail has engaged in a relationship with an inmate, and it compromises the entire system when stuff like this happens. So that's the backstory. That's the backdrop of what is going on here. So let's continue with the story and see what the developing update is. So apparently here, according to TMZ, there's more footage. So apparently the Alabama Jailbreak, this is the surveillance footage that apparently shows an escaped inmate, and this is him here. The inmate, in the first shot, it looks like, well, on the shot on the right, he's wearing his scrubs, his inmate scrubs, okay? And then in the shot on the left, where it looks like when he's walking out, he's wearing a pink shirt with some khakis and some gym shoes and a black hat. So a little bit of a different look, all right? Kind of looks like a civilian there with a phone. Interesting. So the inmate who fled an Alabama prison might have just popped up at a car wash some 300 miles away, at least if you buy this surveillance footage. So the photo on the left there is him at a car wash. The photo on the right was him in prison. Interesting. So WEVV obtained a screenshot of a video that was taken at Weinbach Car Wash in Evansville, Indiana, where investigators reportedly believe Casey White might have absconded with prison guard Vicky White, a woman of no relation, but who authorities believe helped break him out in late April. The outlet reports that U.S. Marshals are on the ground and looking into this footage. The feds believe Casey might be using a vehicle that was reported as stolen in the area. No official word on whether this is a red herring or the real McCoy. Wow. This is some real life prison break stuff. I mean, have you seen the show Prison Break? Like, this is it to a T. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Goodness gracious, man. So we have Vicky White, Casey White, no relation. Vicky White is set to retire, but before then, she has been having a relationship correspondence with this accused murderer. And she decides, you know what? I'm about to retire. We're going to go off, live off in the sunset. What? You can't make this stuff up. This is so strange. It's comical. Wait. Yep, you guessed it right. There's more. Also courtesy of TMZ, it looks like today, as of May 9 at 6:15 Eastern Time, 3:15 p.m., a development happened. What was it? So apparently, prison guard shoots herself and the inmate was captured. So the local sheriff in Evansville says Vicky shot herself when their vehicle was rammed by cops and that she is not in good condition. The alleged murderer who escaped from prison late last month and the guard who allegedly helped him have been cornered and captured in an Indiana cornfield.
Bruh.
According to Fox 59 in Indianapolis. It went down Monday afternoon in Evansville, Indiana, when police tracked down a pickup truck Casey White and Vicky White were driving, a 2006 Ford F-150. The pair apparently fled to a nearby cornfield where cops surrounded them. And wait for it, we also have dispatch audio of this incident. Let's listen in.
123, just to confirm, is County in a vehicle pursuit?
They're not currently in pursuit. I believe they're just following it. Charcoal gray Cadillac.
Through Anchor Industries.
And going through Anchor Industries, 3 Adam 6.
Just go ahead and notify ISP. If they have a question, they can call my cell phone.
I'm clear.
Clear the channel, in Anchor Industries parking lot.
Clear on in Anchor Industries parking lot.
Yeah, crashed out.
Crashed out in an open field along Baumgart.
6-0, he's crashed out. We're still trying to get that vehicle.
Just want to make clear he's still inside the vehicle. Clear on he's crashed out, still inside the vehicle. No, still going to be in the vehicle. We believe we possibly have him on 911.
We need AMR for probably multiple AMRs, 32.
Clear on AMR, he shot himself. And we could hear her on the line saying she had her finger on the trigger. They're in a field off Baumgart and Birch. Shot victim. Female is still armed. Apparently has shot himself. Female still armed. 41, then east on a Birch.
One law enforcement vehicle. Got 2 patients at this time.
Wow. So it goes on to say here that the Lauderdale County, Alabama sheriff says Casey had been taken into custody after surrendering, and Vicky has been taken to a local hospital. It's clear Vicky is in rough shape, the sheriff said. I hope she survives this. I don't know the extent of her injuries. We don't wish any ill will on Vicky with her health, but she has some answers to give us.
Wow.
Absolutely. So as for Casey White, he's also in custody, and there are unconfirmed reports that he was shot too, although it's not clear if it was his own gun or someone else's. As reported, Casey White, who was in custody on a murder charge, escaped, as we had said before. And that manhunt lasted for 2 weeks until it came to a close there recently. Now, what is the moral of this story? The power of relationships or perceived romantic relationships and feelings can lead to violence. It could lead to the community being at risk, having a accused murderer out on the loose without a conclusion in that case. And it could lead to other prisoners, other personnel that's in the jail being at risk as well. So the nature of it's almost getting to a point now where as like the sheriffs and the police officers and the prison, do you almost limit or try to eradicate female officers, sheriffs and stuff like that interfacing with male prisoners and vice versa? Would this work out better if you like kind of segregated it in a way to where only men would be in the male prisons and only women would be in the female prisons? I don't know. I don't mean that to sound sexist, but like, how could you guard against this? How could you mitigate this? And I know this is probably just an outlier, but I've heard about this happening. I did a episode on something similar to this about a woman who was, having relations biblically with an inmate in the prison. And she was attractive too. I think I did and somebody found out about it. She ended up losing her job and she ended up doing service and time in jail because you're an authority figure when you're in there as a corrections officer. And that is definitely a miscarriage of the public trust. But yeah, how do you stop this? How do you mitigate something like that? Is there policies that need to change? As a society, should we be looking at reform in some of the policies when it comes to appropriately, managing people who are incarcerated in prison? I think these are questions and things that we need to think about on a more holistic level to make sure things like this don't happen in the future. Because I foresee this continuing to happen long as once people can have the opportunity to give you some attention, especially when it's on the side of the women, because women are more emotional when it comes to relationship. If somebody's giving her the time of day, giving her some attention, I mean, he was 20 years younger than her. She was 56. I mean, he's giving her that attention. He's always there. He ain't got nothing but time. He just sitting there the whole time. So he probably was telling her sweet nothings, giving her all the attention she can handle. And it led to something like this. So I want to see them both prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And I hope she pulls through. I don't want to see any ill will on her. Hopefully nobody got injured seriously in this incident. Hopefully she makes a full recovery and she could be prosecuted and upon conviction serve her time, which I definitely foresee coming. And this is just a bizarre case because it literally is Prison Break. It's Prison Break all over again. And that has been another installment of the Karat Juice Podcast. We are discussing prison breaks, romance, and also high-speed chases, murder. It's all there. This story is nuts. This has been the 62nd, episode 62 of the Karat Juice Podcast. If you want to know what I'm rocking right here, this is a piece of clothing that you could pick up from some brothers doing some great things. And the name of the company is Notary Apparel. I'm going to link it in the description, in the show notes. You could pick one up if you like. So if you like this This shirt here, I think is kind of fire. Yams. All right. I think it's pretty dope. You can pick it up by hitting that Amazon link. Show them brothers some love. I wanted to make sure that I supported them because I thought what they were doing was dope. So again, it's Notary Apparel. I'll have a link to their products in the description, also in the show notes. So go ahead and check them out. Show them some love. And without further delay, I'm going to tell you, like I tell you every time with the Karat Juice Podcast, love somebody, hug somebody, do something good for somebody, not expecting anything in return. And until next time, peace.